Joe, how do you sum up that performance? Frustrating not to get the win, but over, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it is frustrating. It's frustrating not to get the result. It's frustrating to get back into the game. Again, with 10 to go, 2 yellow cards. The first one was really costly, I felt. We'd engineered a try, worked really hard to get it. I thought the lead up play to the pressure that allowed us to get over the line was outstanding. And a lot of times we were in around tacklers, and the consequence of it was frustrating. But as the game went on, at the same time we lost Tom Hooper to a yellow card. We lost Will Skelton, so it was very early in the game. I felt the team were gritty again. We won that yellow card period 3-0, I think. At the time, it was 7-6 down. We could have been 13-7 up, but it was still good to go 9-7. And I just felt that there was a few times, like how often would you see a ball in behind that comes off the face of a guy and they get away and score. We just didn't get a whole lot of luck, I don't think. But at the same time, I've been doing this for a long time. You got to earn your luck. You got to make your luck, and we didn't quite make enough. We lost a few balls in touch, and made a few errors ourselves that you just can't afford to make on a wet, slippery night against the All Blacks.
The Lineout was probably a big concern for you, given where you lost the balls. Can you put your finger on what went wrong there?
Yeah, it was one really tough, not straight call that was looked pretty good to us, but there were others where we've just got to keep working away on our accuracy. Again, we had a plan around Will and didn't expect to lose him in the first 12 minutes, and then it just destabilises you a little bit. It's a little bit like losing a few of the other players that we lost during the game. And I think as we build going forward, I think we will be trying to develop a bit more strength and depth so that we can adapt better in games if we do lose players. Because, going right back to the start of the championship, losing a guy like Tom Wright in the first 4 minutes, losing Nick White then 11 minutes in, and having to adapt from that. But there was a bit of adaptation that I thought. James O'Connor came on and did really well, playing on the edge. Filippo Dongunu did really well, covering a flanker. And, I take my hat off to those guys and the adaptability they showed.
What's the update you can give on Fraser Wright and Skelton and Luke?
Yeah, Fraser's certainly had a guy drop down and his ankle doesn't look too good, but I'm hopeful that will be okay. Josh Fluke is up and moving around and is relatively happy considering he took that head knock. And most of the other guys should be okay, or we're hopeful they will be. Harry Potter, he clashed heads with Ryan Lonergan, and so he was removed through an HIA alert.
Joe, what's your assessment of Tane's performance tonight?
Yeah, I thought Tane did really well. Second ever start for the Wallabies. He hadn't had a huge amount of rugby, didn't play a lot in the back half of Super Rugby. I thought he kicked the line really well, kicked his goals well, the one that bounced off. It would have been nice to get within 4 points, but again, he kicked that well. There was one that went into touch on the full from kickoff, but it was very close. And initially the AR thought that it was just in the field of play, but that was updated by the TMO. And his passing game, he's brave, Tane, as well. He squared up, carried a little bit, and I thought he tackled well. So across the board, I thought it was a really solid performance considering the quality of the opposition, the nature of the weather and the number of variables that got chucked at him. You know, losing Lineout, who's been so good for us for 10 minutes, and working with that patch together back line that we had to try to keep moving with some cohesion.
This brings an end to one of the sort of tougher periods in terms of, like, you go from Lions basically straight to Rugby Championship in South Africa. You now have a sort of 3-week break before you go to Japan. What do you sort of tell the players just around refreshing and just trying to sort of put this loss behind you ahead of what's going to be a very important spring tour with sort of the World Rugby draw, World Cup draw coming into the year, and with rankings spots off?
Yeah, it's all about regeneration now. They just need to get a bit of time and space. It has been, I can't imagine how it could be a lot tougher than having 3 massive Lions tests, then going straight up and playing at Ellis Park. And then since that Ellis Park win, we've probably collected injuries at each point and just been, Harry obviously missed the Cape Town game, and we picked up the injuries for Tom Wright, and Nick White was then out for the little period of time. Jake Gordon, it was great to get him back today. So hopefully, if we can get that regeneration period right, we'll get a few players back. And you're right, we've got to go after some results in the Northern Tour. The best way to get them is to win away from home, and that starts with what will be a tough game against Japan. I watched their game against Fiji, and gee, they were competitive, and so we need to be lined up and ready for that. But I think the most important thing is the next 10 days, the players need to regenerate, keep ticking over, and freshen up and spend time with family.
You spoke about freshening up. Obviously, physically, it's a big thing. Also, mentally, how important is that just for them to have that?
Yeah, exactly. I think I just finished with spending time with family is a good mental refresh. A lot goes into a game like that with your mental preparation and your emotional energy. So it is fatiguing, and I think for players on the back of that 10-match block, they've hung in really well. They've still brought a lot of energy to training and into the game. Maybe not the accuracy that we were looking for tonight, but it's probably frustrating, but it didn't feel like we were that far away, even though it's 28-14. I think we made as many line breaks, if not more, than they did. Certainly didn't look like we got beaten in terms of our effort at all, but just a few times our accuracy, and part of that accuracy cost us 2 yellow cards, and they take a toll, because then you're using more energy than you want to be in those periods. And certainly the second one with Lineout, that was at a crucial time in the game, and it made it very tough.
Just on a personal note, a strong carry game tonight. Just in terms of balancing your own game and all the leadership stuff, you feel like you're sort of where you want to be and getting on top of both those elements?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess to be a good leader, you've got to be leading by actions, and I guess that's all I sort of try and focus on. I need to go out there and perform and try and be consistently performing, and that's sort of all I guess try and do. And I guess it's just disappointing right now to be sitting here after a tough loss to the All Blacks.
Maybe I should ask the coach if he agrees with Harry's summation about where he is in terms of the leadership.
Yeah, I thought he led really well tonight. He can't go and intercept those incidents that became yellow cards. All Harry can do is continue to lead well, make good decisions. I thought we took some points early on to lead 9-7. In that first quarter was what we wanted to be doing, although we wanted to really build on that, and then the tide of the game kind of went against us a little bit with a bounce off the face that gave them back the lead, and then we kicked the ball straight into touch. There's not a lot Harry can do about that other than try to just get the team back together and try to get ready to defend that midfield scrum. That then on the back of that advantage, they made the most of it.
Harry, a few farewells tonight, obviously James Slipper, but also Mike Cron as well. What have these guys brought to your side?
Yeah, two people. I'll start with Slipper. I obviously 15, 16 years service to Australian rugby, but he's pretty much everyone's older brother in the team, and we love him. And he's just everyone. He's always says the right thing to you at the right time, and he's always there offering advice. And we definitely really will miss him around this group. And then to Chrono, he's been part of it for the last 18 months, and he really has had a big impact on a lot of our lives and our rugby career in just such a short period. And I've got no doubt he'll still be involved in some way. I hope so, because he's been unbelievable for us, and we love him.
The sentiment from your on-field interview is that close enough is not good enough for the Wallabies. Like, in light of that, can you sort of elaborate, now given that is 11 straight wins for the All Blacks over the Wallabies?
Yeah, I think Good was talking about being competitive, and we're not out there obviously to be competitive. We're out there to win, and the last two Test matches we've had opportunities which we haven't taken, and we've had 2 losses, which is just really disappointing. But there definitely is light at the end of the tunnel for us, and we've got to be better with those little margins, Test footies, all that, those fine margins. And the last couple of tests, we've definitely lost those.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.